yes.
Yeah, Comic-Con.
Yes.
You made
Good
it,
to see
man.
you.
Good to see you too.
Is this good? Do I need this?
You can sit down.
I did. Okay, there you go.
Thank you.
I didn't know. I see a microphone. I got to touch it.
Yeah,
Right,
no
right,
worries,
right.
no worries.
We'll start. Alex, we'll start.
Sure.
Good.
First of all, I want to say I'm sorry about the series
Yes.
before. But would you be open to continuing the story in whether it be a series spin-off, a
Yes.
film spin-off? Do you have any ideas?
I would be open to it. The issue, well, there's a lot of issues. Creatively, like I knew this was probably the last season a year ago. So when I first came up with what season 4 was going to be with the writers, I knew it would probably be the end, and I wanted to give it an ending that was appropriate, that the fans would be happy about. Anything could happen. Maybe we'd get a 5th season. I didn't think we would. I figured, let's end it. For some reason, we get picked up, we can deal with it, but I don't think it's going to happen. So let's just end it. So the story we set out to tell, which is a alien coming down to Earth, not understanding humans, and becoming human himself in a way, that he learns to respect humans. That's one that we're playing out now, and that's the story we've been telling. That's no spoilers, but that's basically that's effectively the story we're telling the season. So that story is over. I think to do something else, I think it would be weird if USA just said, "Hey, we'll pick up season 5." I don't know what that story is. Like we just told the story. I think if we had an opportunity to do a movie or something like that, or you could do a self-contained, there's a new story or a new mission or something, and create something fresh and new. I think that creatively would be possible, and I'd be excited to do that. And luckily USA does do things like that. They've done, 3 psych movies and some monk movies, so I think you have to wait some time, but I think there's a future of some sort for the show down the line.
Did you know from the beginning that you'd have such a fan base for this show? And like, what's that been like? Like just seeing like the passion for the series over the last 4 years?
I didn't even think about that. I mean, I know generally like genre stuff, animation. I was on Family Guy for many years. Like, they get rabid. Like fans are insane,
Yeah.
in a great way. But I never thought of it. You don't know. Like every stage is that you're writing a pilot, and then you're shooting the pilot, and then you're just trying to get through it. You're trying to make it great. But I didn't sit there and say, "Oh, we're going to go to Comic-Con. We're going to be huge." No idea about that. And then slowly it started building. People started liking it, and it does remind me of Family Guy in the beginning. When I started on Family Guy in '98, no one knew what that show was, and we had a very rabid following of about 1,000 people. And the show was canceled because they loved it, but no one was watching it. Of course, it got picked up again and did really well. But it reminds me of that. In the beginning, a lot of people liked it, but not a lot of people.
Right.
And then over time, it's been 7 years since we shot the pilot, so but only I guess 4 years since we aired it.
Yeah.
But over time, people have found it. Netflix was a big thing. More people discovered it then. So it's been a nice surprise that there's so much. Not a surprise, but it wasn't something I was expecting.
Yeah, cool.
I love it.
Hitting on the point about family, right? How great was it to come to work every day for these past 4 seasons and work with this cast and crew?
Incredible. The crew was amazing. The writers were amazing. I mean, one of the things, every time I hired someone, or Rodney McNeil, who's our producing director, and I hired the crew, hired other directors, and we always sort of had the same thing. Like we really don't want assholes around. So, try to get a sense from people how they work. Are they good to people? Are they good? Is the makeup head like good to her people? And we tried to surround the crew with these people who are kind. And it was always more important to me that people enjoyed coming to work than the show itself. Because I feel like if people do enjoy coming to work and they're happy, they're going to do better work anyway. But starting with there was always important. So. And with the cast, we always got along incredibly well. It was such a gift to come in, and everyone trusted each other. They trusted me, I trusted them. It was an incredible environment to work. That's what I'm going to miss the most, I think, are these people and am working in this environment, and if I ever get the opportunity to do this again, try to create it again. But it's a real tough one to replicate. You gotta have, there's a lot of luck involved in getting that many people together who all gel and work together and are good people. So, something to shoot for.
So my question for you is, as the series progressed, what are some challenges or surprises that you came across behind the scenes that helped define the direction of the show?
That did what to the correction of the show?
That helped define which direction to go.
There's always challenges. I mean, it's a living, organic thing, these stories, and you try to feed the things that work. This wasn't a challenge, it was more of a discovery. When we started, I didn't know what D'Arcy's role was in the show. I knew she was sort of Asta's friend, but I wasn't quite sure what it was. And then in the third episode of season 1, it's when they were dredging the lake looking for a body, and then they go to a party which they find out is like a high school party, and and in that episode is when I realized this, when it clicked, because I saw the chemistry that Sarah and Alice have together on screen for the first time. And that's when I realized, now I know exactly what D'Arcy is. So that wasn't a challenge I faced, but that was something that you're aware of when you see it, and it's like, I know what that is now. Now I can feed them. I can put them together more. I realize that Asta's going through a lot of shit, like with her ex-husband and stuff like that, and there's a lot of darkness there. D'Arcy can lighten it, because of who she is and her energy, So then you feed that and build that, and that became the relationship between them. So in the same way, and I can't off the top of my head think of any of these, but I know they're there, when you see something that doesn't work, you try to stay away from, that's not working great, I'll stay away from that. So it's a constant thing you have to keep an eye out for and try to feed the things that are working well. One thing that I did notice from a writing standpoint is that if we did a story where Harry wasn't driving the action, where Harry didn't have a goal and was going after it, it didn't work. He was just floating, and it was sort of stalled. And luckily we discovered this before we shot these things. But that was a big thing for me. I realized this was early on, Harry's always got to be going after something, because Alan is too good to be just commenting and reacting to things. So that was a potential problem that I was able to get around and shift. Because I realized it wasn't Do you still have your pizza box, by the way?
I do.
Yeah, okay.
Let's go get pizza after this.
Yeah, right.
Why not? So we're at Comic-Con, and I know so many of us here, including probably you, the cast love comics, and that aspect of being here. Could Resident Alien, continue in a comic? Would you work on it for a comic? Would you be able to still write these characters, although not directing them or working with them on the big screen? How would you work on it?
Well, it's a great question. I mean, so it started as a comic. So Peter Hogan and Steve Parkhouse created this incredible comic called Resident Alien. It was the kickoff point. It was the thing that made me fall in love with it. I had to adapt it and change a lot of things, add a bunch of characters to make it work on TV. But the soul of it is still there. What we are doing is similar enough to make it feel in the world, but different enough to feel like a different thing. I have had the thought, although Peter and Stephen would probably kill me, I have wondered the same thing. Well, what if there's a comic version of the TV show, which is a much different thing, where you have the TV show characters in the comic? That has passed through my head, but I don't know what that is. But it is an interesting thought, and I've been curious in my head what that would be. Would that just feel like fan fiction, or would that actually be something people would want to see? I don't know. Good question.
I think it'd be cool. Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Let's get a picture.